Dhana's going to introduce herself, then I'm going to set you a little task, and then actually Dhana's going to tell you a story after that task, and then we're going to have more of a sort of, a bit like we were beginning to do just now, sharing ideas, sharing things that have worked for us, and have a bit more of a powwow than it being from the stage here. So Dhana, do you want to just quickly introduce yourself?
All right, very, very briefly, my name's Dhana Mahendran. I'm co-founder of Citizenguild with my business partner, Paul Bay. Paul's over there, everyone. I think you met him earlier today. So, and I guess we're going to basically start.
Yeah. Okay, so, because I can't wait till you hear Dhana's story from earlier on, but anyway. The way we're going to do this is we're going to split you in, well, you are going to split yourselves into small groups of about no more than 8 to 10 people. And what I'd like you to think about, we've just had so many things just bombarded at us today, from how to be a startup, how to think about audiences, how to think about marketing, going back to slow fashion right at the beginning, and before that we had a whole load of trends. So this session is partly to sum up a lot of stuff, but also to try and tackle those burning questions that some of you might have had, or things that you desperately want to share. So the way I'm going to do it is I have 2 questions for you all. You don't have to use them, but just to start you off, is what's your biggest challenge at the moment, or what's your greatest success? So it's now up to you to self-organise, and I'll get into little groups across here, and we're going to do this for about 10 minutes. And then we're going to come back, and I'm going to facilitate a conversation of all the results that you've just had. So, go. Myself and Dhana have dipped into lots of conversations, and there was lots of different things going on. Zara is giving a great, just motivational talk as to how to network, actually, at the back there. Do you want to actually repeat what you were just saying? Oh, Leona, sorry. Leona. Lanique. Sorry, my name. No. My names are terrible. Lanique, do you want to just say what you were just kind of talking about? Because it was brilliant. It was about being confident.
I actually forgot. In terms of being bold. You mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, I was just giving advice. Was basically that in certain situations, I was just talking about seeking a mentor and how important it is in your business, and it doesn't necessarily have to be someone from your sector, but someone that you aspire to, and just going to them and being like, can you be my mentor? But I used to do that to a lot of people, and they'd be quite humble, but they're like, I just haven't got time. But when you make it specific, say, could you be my mentor, but could you mentor me for like maybe half an hour every month, whether that be through Skype, coffee, a telephone, conversation, and they're more willing to take you on. And it's really good to get feedback. I've got too many mentors, but it's always good to just get insight from so many different people, especially who I want to be, aspire to their success. So I just, whether that be if I see them at an event and I, like how they do their business, or I like their business model, I'll ask them, can I get some advice from you? Everyone loves giving advice. Or whether that be directly through contacting them through their email, and just basically just put in a simple email saying that I really like what you've done in your career. I want to aspire to be somewhat like you. Could you help me to be a success? Just really simple like that.
Great tip. And one, I have a feeling that people are going to be coming to you for the same thing now as well. If anyone did from today, would you say yes?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Just checking. Okay. Would any group like to just say what they were talking about, or pose a question, something that was going on within their group? Oh, over there again.
Basically, I've had my clothing brand idea for a while, but because I never had any fashion experience or background, I never had the confidence to do it, I always thought, it's not for me, I can't do it, let me just leave it. So like a few months ago, I finally worked up the courage to go, yeah, let me do this, why not? So I started reading up on it. So that was my biggest hurdle and my biggest success as well, just getting out there.
So getting out of that, which answers, I think, one of the questions over here, Dhana. One of the questions we had, I think, was, what was it somewhere? It was about ease. How does someone gain a better understanding or gain experience in fashion with little experience? Was that? That was you. Has anyone got any tips for this gentleman other than getting out there?
Work experience.
Work experience. And where would you get that? What kind of experience?
I think if you, I'm only a small business, I'm only a small business, but we've had 15-year-old students, we've had master's degree students come and work with us, and it's both ways. You know, don't ever think, oh my God, I've got to look after this person for a week. You learn so much from them, as well as being able to give an awful lot to inspire them for the future. So it works both ways. It's a great experience for both parties normally.
I think our answer to that was get experience, wasn't it?
We said there's no way. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me? Yeah. We said there's no way without any experience you're going to learn. So the only way with little experience is make it bigger experience. Get out there and even do things for free, just to learn the business and running a business. Yeah, especially the fashion business.
So if anyone wants to come to you for work experience, where should they go?
If you come and see me afterwards, or tailored for you, hashtag tailored for you.
Tailored for you.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Okay. Well, what about over here? Anything that was going on that people want to raise up?
Yeah.
Oh, there's one coming behind.
Thank you. We're mainly talking about how to start our own brands and how to get visibility and also get the business plan right, basically. And help me, guys, what else? How to retail our products, what's the best way? It's internet or having just online. Prices as well, very important, like what can we charge? Can we go up, can we go down, or where we differentiate our products? In different countries, and we're gonna international as well, so...
This is the question number one up here. Did you write this question?
No.
Actually, you covered quite a few. Sorry, you covered quite a few subject matters in that. I mean, the first one you talked about was brand. Yeah. Now, that's something you're going to have to develop and create for yourself, depending on who your audience is going to be. There are some people who want mass sales of their products. Some people just want to be niche, and want quality. So it depends on what you want for your brand. In terms of a business plan, again, it's your audience. Who do you want to present this business plan to? If it's a bank, it would be a different business plan to maybe a VC or a business angel. And if you're not used to it, it's not something you're very confident with, it would be worth your while spending a little bit of money to get an outside person to actually review it and look at it and help you with it. Because you find with a bank, they want lots of information, yeah, as much as you can give them. They won't read it all, but they want it, and they want it on their book so they can say, yeah, we looked at all this. If you talk to a VC, they don't have time. They literally want an executive statement. They want 5 minutes looking at it and saying, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I want to invest in it. So again, it's depending on your audience as to what plan you put together.
The VC might want follow-up information, though, for their accountants or someone else to look at.
No, absolutely, for due diligence and everything else. But to get the VC's interest, it's going to be that executive statement, and that's got to be really key, because the VC may not want to read the whole thing, but he'll want to know whether he's interested in investing in it, and then he'll put it, as you say, with his accountants, his advisors, and they will want the plan after that.
And that's as well where a good mentor can come in and outside help, just with business planning, because there are people who are just really, really good at putting a business plan together, and they will also help you think through some of the issues that you might not have thought of. And I think the whole practice of business planning is a really good one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And don't be fooled by it, because often if you've got one investor, whether it be the bank or whether it be the VC or the business angel, and you have that one opportunity, always try and prepare yourself in advance. Funny enough, actually, it goes back to something else that was on that board. We're talking about, I think there's one question there where it talks about how do you make a good idea a viable business? And what I was saying is recently, Paul and I were at a meeting with Julie Mayer from Ariadne Capital. And one of the things that Julie said to us is, within 10 to 15 minutes of meeting somebody, and she's a VC, she said, I'll know if they are passionate about the idea and they know they have a good idea. But more importantly, I'll know that because they'll be able to communicate it to me. And the business plan is that communicator as well. So bear that in mind.
There was also a question about pricing in what you were saying. Was there something particular that you were talking about with pricing?
Yeah, we were just worried that one of this gentleman here is looking at launching a belt company, and the fact that something, for example, if London's expensive to retail in, it retails for, say, £200, and the price was different, say, in China or somewhere else, New York. And then we agreed that perhaps if it was a Nike trainer with a very specific model with a really well-known brand, then people would look across and know the price discrepancies or differences. Whereas if it was a newish brand and you're launching in a couple of different cities around the world, then maybe they wouldn't check your price elsewhere.
So it was actually not just about pricing, but pricing across countries. Is that what you were...
Yeah, because something like a belt you could sell quite well. You know, people are happy to buy a belt online.
So you're saying as your market audience for the purchase regionally is different.
Yeah.
Somebody might pay £10 for a belt in one area and £20 for a belt in the other area.
That's like a
No?
100% difference. No, not like going from 10 to 20, but maybe sort of, maybe, I don't know, about 15-20% price differences.
Oh, okay. A small marginal
yeah,
increase.
small, but say, for example, New York might be more expensive than somewhere else. So.
Oh, do you know what it happens? It happens even with products like, I know if I went to New York and bought a Gucci handbag, it would cost me £200, £300 less than buying it in London. So it happens. Yeah, so that works.
Has anyone else got questions around pricing or comments on pricing or their own experiences? Yeah.
I strongly believe that pricing is very simple. More money you have, higher prices you can put, because higher prices means heavy advertising. If you don't have money for heavy advertising, your prices must be low. It's for beginning. Then it goes as it goes. But in the beginning, no money for advertising, £20.
But do you know, in a funny sort of way...
I wonder who that, Lily. Poor Lily. Yours was the best story of the day, you know.
Yeah, I've taken the leaflet. I'm going to have a look at it in a minute. I was going to say, in a way, it's because you don't have that marketing cost that you can afford, as you say, to sell like at 20 quid. So it really does depend on who you think is going to be, you know, your audience for purchasing, and therefore deciding on, can I sell this at 20 quid, or can I sell it at 50 quid? And if you can only sell it at 20 quid, then you're going to make your business plan work, so you can sell at that price. No, but again, it's that element. I know you said to me when you were running your business, you were concerned that at the start of it, you had no money and no time because you were doing like double shift jobs, etc. Yeah. None of these things happen overnight. People who are lucky enough to turn a business around in 2 years and sell it for 50 million are very lucky. It doesn't happen overnight. And in the same way, creating a brand that people want to spend, you know, £100 buying rather than £20, it doesn't happen overnight. And it's not necessarily by marketing, because the bigger luxury brands don't market, don't have to.
Yeah, it's in their doors it's written 1856 and established in this year. That's why they don't need to market today.
Sometimes, but there's a question over here, or a comment.
It's a comment. Pricing is as much about reaching your target audience as about signaling to some people that you're not welcome here. So it depends on whether you want to create a product which is led by market research or you want to make an offering. So one of the things that somebody like Hermes does is they never do customer research. They only make an offer. You don't like it? Too bad. Don't come in. But there is the pricing thing is a tool to actually signal to some people this is not for you. It's like I went into the Superdry store to buy some stuff for my nieces. In 10 minutes that I bought stuff, I had a headache. So much so I tweeted about it saying, the music in the store is a signal that the store is not for you. If it gives you a headache, it's not for you. Pricing is like that signal too. And so I really don't see why one has to sell something cheaply. In fact, if you can keep away people who will browse around but won't buy, you probably will have a better conversion rate, less dip in your morale. If there was a huge traffic and there were 2 sales, you would probably feel bad. What is it that I'm doing wrong? If your pricing can exclude people from even browsing, good for you. So I really don't see why you have to price cheaply just because you're not marketing.
This is where I kind of insert the Apple Store model, which is one of the most successful, in the US at least, store per square meter. It has, I think, but anyway, let's not go down that route for now. Because we're not going to have an Apple Store
Tailing on those questions, so how do you actually, for example, this gentleman who wants to sell these belts, and I've been admiring those belts, if he wants to price those belts, how does he come down to a value of that belt in a new country or the local market? I mean, apart from analyzing your competitors or the stores where you want to sell it at.
Yeah. All right, you're going to have a starting point, which is going to be the cost. Yeah? So you've got a base level on which to work your pricing. Beyond that base level, yeah, it is then understanding your market, and the people that are going to buy. And if your market, say your costing is £5 and the belt is being, you can only sell it because your market will only take £2, then you've got 2 choices. If you can't put it at £8 because no one's going to buy it, you'll have to put it at the £7 in order to sell it.
Or you find another market.
Or you find another, yeah, absolutely. And that's where maybe what you were saying, cross-selling, is finding, through regional cross-selling, is finding the right market for your product, where you can actually make the money you want to make and still find an audience as well.
Some of it is also just knowing your costs, because and the costs that might not be obvious. So when I have to, I work for myself. I have to kind of cost my own time, and that can sometimes be incredibly difficult. But it's not about my time. It's the value that I can give to my clients. So what is the value of the belt? What is the value of the item to your customers? Not just necessarily what it's worth, and how you ensure that people understand its value. Also is part of the whole equation.
It just goes back to that element about brand. How do you want to? Yeah, we'll come to you in a second.
Don't worry.
We'll come to you in a second. Again, it's that thing about the brand. Yeah, if you create value or by making people believe this thing is worth £8 and not £7, then you can sell it at £8. Yeah.
There's a comment. There's a desperate to get
desperate.
in,
Somebody's
and also I'm sure some of us are desperate to have tea as well. So
George again, Wolf Merger.
You've just moved, so it makes it look as though you're different, haven't you?
I just wanted to interject, if I may, just for the benefit of some of the startup fashion brands, that I think you're missing a key piece of the puzzle there, which is retail markups. That's often what drives the differentiation between prices internationally, is the local standards for markup from wholesale to retail. I think it's very important for startup fashion brands to look at their cost, to then find a wholesale price that works for them, and then bear in mind that retail will be 2 to sometimes 3.2 times that price in different markets, and therefore, when going out and making sales originally, with the now opportunity to sell directly to customers through marketplaces and other places where you receive the entire amount of the sale, bear in mind that you may at some point wish to go out and sell through retailers who then would expect a margin out of that price. And if that then brings you down to below your cost, you're a little bit screwed, and therefore need to bear that in mind from early on, so as not to have a price that then you hike up as soon as you go into retailers.
Brilliant. And also, don't forget that tax might get added on as well, which can make the appearance of the cost much higher than perhaps it actually is.
I'll be very quick because I know everybody wants a cup of tea. Sorry, I was just going to say, I think there are 2 factors people should look at as well. One is kind of cost per acquisition. So if you're an online business, you've got to work out what it costs you to get a new customer. That's going to impact upon your bottom line and your burn rate. And the second way, one area I've kind of done successfully is kind of split testing on price. So if you're not sure what your price point is, you basically create a page that has a buy button. You create 2 or 3 variable prices, and you look at the analysis and see who clicks through to buying or who doesn't. It's kind of one way of doing it very quickly and very cheaply without actually manufacturing anything or putting a kind of paywall in the first place.
There's also colour. Apparently colour makes a difference too. There's a whole colour theory that depending on what colour the page is can actually, and what even colour the buy button is, can make a difference. I'm getting into like tiny.
Real
okay,
detail.
I'm having this little wind up signal being made at me.
You want me to tell my story later?
Go on, just tell your story.
I'm going to tell you guys a little
Because
story.
it's a good one.
Well, I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to share the reason why I decided to do business studies at university and not teaching. And it's appropriate for this particular venue and this particular situation. I don't know, has any of you heard of the iconic brand Bieber? Yeah? Okay, they're doing a relaunch coming back. Years and years ago in the 60s and 70s, Bieber was the iconic brand in fashion. It has so many people who followed it. And the brains behind that brand is Barbara Hulinicky, who was the lady who was a designer. Now, I actually met Barbara Hulinicky in the mid-'80s, by which time Bieber had gone into administration. And I was sitting and talking to Barbara as to why the brand had gone down. And I realized from the conversation how strong a brand is, a product is, if you mismanage and have bad commercial and financial management, it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to have a brand, you're not going to have a business. And that became very key to me, and that's why I decided to study business studies, to understand that.
And she'd kind of bought...
well, actually, the key reason, you're also right, the key reason why their corporate strategy failed so badly is because they really wanted to grow really fast, and they wanted to have a huge premium brand, but big brand. They wanted to get big, big, big. And they actually moved into this building to the rooftop terrace, and they did trading from here, and that's what collapsed them.
It's too expensive.
Too expensive, too fast, and they didn't have the working capital to fund it, and hence it went down. So bear that in mind. Finance commerce is very important in any business.
You have 15 minutes max. Be back here really in 10 to get a cup of tea, go to the loo, have a coffee, have a biscuit. Be back soon.